Alright, how's it going everybody? Today we're going to be doing another Nomad survival build. This day we are going to be going for another max build as well. It's going to be one that I don't really know how it's going to go, honestly. It's going to be the Purifying circle build. This is the one that drops the giant kind of like hex looking thing kind of on the screen. It doesn't move until you get some relics, but I'm pretty interested to see how this one goes because it does decent damage, but it's not something that I like go out of my way to get. So I'm interested to see how it is going to look. I think, what do I want to go? I'm gonna go with Necromancer just for fun, and we're gonna go Nomad as always because we want those extra rolls. I like the Necromancer because sometimes you can make it to where it only attacks people that are relatively close to you, but the clear isn't it's not the greatest in the world. Alright, we already got one Purifying Circle, so this is what the ability looks like. It's pretty alright. Nothing crazy, but it's alright. I'll probably have to check and pick up a second ability, because as you can see, the cast speed is not very high. It's not something that goes off extremely often, and it definitely doesn't stick around for that long, so it's something that's going to definitely need to be supplemented. Once it gets leveled up, however, with the relic, it is able to move with you. However, I don't know how kind of impactful that is, basically. So we'll have to see. We'll play it by ear, and hopefully I'll be able to make it there. This is one of the last builds that I have to do, actually, so looking forward to finishing everything. Looks like I'm getting pretty lucky in regards to the items, so that's always good. It's nice not stressing out too much about if I'm going to need to really dig with all my rerolls for it or not. Wow, the summoning noise is very annoying if you guys can hear that. It sounds like an eagle. I don't understand why it sounds like that, because, you know, we're summoning skeletons. Not exactly really anything related to a eagle, but you know, oh well. Also gonna go for max skill size because that's always a pretty good thing to pick up in giant AoE abilities like this one. And it's just good in general. It does affect the summons, so it's pretty useful in that regard as well. Doing pretty good on the EXP bonuses as well. Granted, as you can see, in comparison to all of my other builds, this is insanely slow when it comes to clear speed, as well as how just much damage I'm taking. Normally I don't get touched, but with this ability you're really limited in what you could do. I'll probably have to pick up, like, maybe we'll do Icicle Barrage or something like that, but we'll see how it goes. The boss damage is something I'm not looking forward to, though. I'll definitely need to pick something up to, to help me out there. Chain Light Shock is pretty alright, but it's not the craziest bossing ability in the world. The thing I do like about the Summoner, however, is that, or sorry, the Necromancer, is that your little mobs change every 20 levels, so since we're past level 20 now, the ability summons ranged skeletons occasionally, which have some pierce, and it bounces like the Ratfolk Archer, so it's pretty cool. And then at level 40, you unlock mages, which deal decent damage, and it has a ability kind of like the Curious Wisp. It'll shoot out these circles that spin. Pretty nifty. I'll definitely need to pick up a additional damaging ability though. This just isn't, it's not clearing fast enough with just the two. The skill itself just isn't very consistent. I know there's a timer, I just don't know exactly how long it is. Might be 10 seconds or something like that. Might go Colorless Glyph just for fun. If you guys saw the Colorless Glyph build, you'll know that Colorless Glyph puts in the work once it gets upgraded, so if I do happen to run into any of the Colorless Glyph relics, I might just pick them up. Yeah, this damage is awful. It's gonna take me like 10 years to kill the boss. Alright, let's see if I can get lucky. Nope. Nice. We already got one. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, we'll take the level. So the first one has a small one follow you. So as you can see, it walks with me now, which is really nice. This is definitely significantly better than what it was earlier. So that is awesome. Still doesn't do the most damage in the world. Looks like it's hitting for 200, which is pretty good for this early on. It's level 9 right now, I believe. Yeah, it's level 9, so we got one more level. We'll see what special effect it gets once it hits level 10. And we'll see what happens once we get it to second relic, which hopefully will happen on this one. But it's already significantly better. This also would go really well with the colorless glyph. Okay, so the rate at which enemies are attacked is doubled. So this is kind of similar to the colorless glyph upgrades. So it basically just ticks faster when it's dealing damage in the circle, which is really nice. It'll be easier to see once it on the boss. It's doing just damage significantly faster in comparison to what it was doing before. So let's see. We were pretty fortunate with that first one. I don't think the game will be that kind. We'll take colorless glyphs since that's what we're doing right now. And I'm going to take the rerolls for the time being because I always like to get to the time 64 in regards to the relic rerolls. Sorry, I was on a brain fart. But I feel like the combo of colorless glyph plus the Purifying Circle, man, I cannot remember that name, is really good because it'll deal, you know, it looks like it's hitting like 70 right now on the outside, and then by the time they actually get next to me, it's going to be getting hit by a lot more. And these are the mages I was talking about with the Necromancer build. Very, very nice. The other cool thing is that when you're going to build like this, where you're actually somewhat focusing on the weapon skill size passive, it does impact your summons as well as the skills of the summons, so that's always a good time. But yeah, it looks like we'll max out colorless glyph, we'll max out EXP and item pickup range, and then I might look for maybe spectral bow or something like that, but I won't go out of my way to pick up any new abilities. I enjoy grabbing spectral bow just for fun. It's one of my favorite abilities to look at. Just, it's very nice. I wish it wasn't, you see it's moving all over the place right here. It's clear, so it's not the easiest thing in the world to see, but it's still pretty nifty. Yeah, for the most part, between this and the Chain Shock Lightning, you know, the DPS isn't that bad. Come on. Unlucky. Alright, now I'm not going to worry about the rerolls. Second relic, you know, we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more attempts to get it, so we'll see how that goes. The damage itself though is pretty good. And as long as you stay in the same spot for the most part with the Necromancer, you don't have to worry too much about actually taking care of things. The character itself is very strong. But if you kind of run off screen and your mobs die, then it's not the best. You really need to play around where you're basically gonna camp for the whole run, unfortunately. Colorless glyph just gets so big. Which I believe the first relic, yeah, doubles the size. Overall, the build's not too bad, though. It's another one of those, not super eventful builds, but it definitely is very consistent when it comes to damage, at least. Still not, you know, one shot, however. I basically have to stand in the same spot, otherwise I do have a chance of dying. Unfortunately, duplication doesn't have any impact on this. That'd be really cool if you can get a second one. It looks like the cast speed is fast enough right now, though, to actually get two down at the same time. Just for about 2-3 seconds. There is Cthulhu. Damage isn't anything, you know, to write home about, but it's at least pretty consistent. Alright, let's get it. Unfortunate. Oh, nice. We did it. Perfect. The game was just very kind to me. Alright, so let's see what the second relic does. Rate of attack is quadrupled. So it went from 2 times to 4 times, so now it's really going to be dealing damage significantly faster. And it's hidden for like 238 is what it looked like. Unfortunately, I'm not able to actually get close to anything to see how much damage it's really doing. Crit is very strong with this build. Since it's something that's hitting the enemies multiple times, it's very, very strong. And then Chain Light Shock, as always, is going to be consistent as heck. We'll see if I still can't move however I want though. I'm not doing that much damage. It's one of those where you have to move and then take a stop for a second. Then you can move again. I'm not outputting enough between both the colorless glyph and the purifying circle to actually just walk. So it's hitting not crazy fast. The Necromancer is really doing most of the damage right now, unfortunately. But it's not that big of a deal. I have a feeling that once we get to the end game screen with the damage amounts, I'm going to be disappointed. Necromancer, though, itself, very, very strong class. It'd be nice if I can get a couple colorless glyph relics, but we'll see what we can do. Level 60 at 17 minutes, though, is pretty good. One of the nice things about full screen AoE abilities like this is that you clear more consistently. And for the most part, I'm just going around and picking up experience. I'm not really doing anything else, which is not a bad thing, but can be definitely a more boring playstyle in comparison to maybe a Chain Light Shock or the Fireball build, where you really get to see the damage that you're dealing. Whereas with this, there's no real, like, I guess when they die inside the circle, it does that little thing where, here, let's see if we can get some death animations. You'll see this light picking up from it, because then, you know, you're purifying them with the circle, but outside of that, it doesn't have really any special animation. And I'm still not able to kind of walk wherever I want to. Doesn't mean the build's bad, but in comparison to some of the other ones, it's just really not doing that much damage. I have a feeling that colorless glyph is going to have more DPS at the end of the game. It's sitting for 440 though, so that's really strong. That's up there in damage. I just wish I had like permanent vacuum in this type of situation, because I wouldn't have to worry about moving at all. All the XP would just come to me. We could see what I could really hit in regards to level if you really just cleaned everything out. Wow, I got 2 magic missiles. It's funny because when I was making the magic missile build relic video, it took me about 4 hours to finally get both 2 relics as well as magic missile to max levels. So the fact that I got 2 of the magic missile relics when I'm not even trying to get magic missile, it rubs me the wrong way, to say the least. Alright, here's our best friend, laser beams. The Necromancer is a amazing bossing character because those guys, they can't die. Oh, perfect. I've actually never gotten this one. So the relic I just got gives you the ability of the boss that you just killed. And that's gonna be the laser beam. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. Oh, wow. That is... that is awesome. I mean, I knew it was gonna exactly look like that, but I didn't really think they'd actually give it to me, you know? This seems like it's something that's very, very, very strong. I'm surprised that this is what they gave me. Not mad. I think this fits this build really, really well. If it wasn't for the moon drip kind of falling over the place and making me move, I could just stand still and not worry about anything. So once those stop, I could pretty much do whatever I want. I don't know if I'll be able to hit level 10 with the magic missile. However, if I can, that's going to look really nice to have both of those going at the same time. The moon's glow wanes. Yes, could you please? You know, the first time I was playing this map, and actually really the first couple of times after that, I thought that these these Draculas were actually penguins. They kind of look like penguins. If you just see them, they waddle. It really cracks me up, their movement, especially the big ones. They just look so funny. I know it didn't make any sense at the time, but I was like, yeah, that's fine, it's penguins. Oof. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit magic missile. It's just one of those abilities that's really rare for whatever reason. Which surprises me, because the damage itself, even at level 10, even with 2 relics, is not that crazy. It's a very, in my opinion, okay build. Oof, unfortunate. Yeah, the odds of me being able to get something to level 10 at this point, not super high, but we'll see. Laser beams do really good damage. Hey, look, there's a 3rd magic missile. Speak of the devil. I should have took the rerolls. That was very stupid of me. The damage is pretty decent now. I feel like my build's along, far enough that I don't have to worry too much about things. I also deal so much damage at a distance that by the time they get close to me and do get hit by the Purifying Circle, they're pretty much almost dead already. So it's not something I really have to worry too much. Throw on top of that the little Necromancer mobs that are helping you out. I'm in a pretty good place. Whew, that's a big boy. If I somehow got every single shop magic missile, I might have a chance of getting it to level 10. Just depends on how fast these mobs spawn. Alright, it's level 8, just need 2 more levels. Things need to spawn a little bit faster if this is what I'm gonna do. Oof. Unfortunate. Definitely not getting it. I don't think I could get 2 more levels by then. Because at 29 minutes, mobs just basically drop off. Nothing really spawns. Which is one of the things I actually don't like about this game. Is in comparison to Vampire Survivor, where you're really just SOL the later the game goes on. I mean, more and more things spawn every single time. In this game, you don't really have to worry about it too much. Once you see that message, a powerful creature approaches. As you can see, there's pretty much nothing on my screen outside of, 1 or 2 mobs. So that's kind of frustrating. It's like, I guess, you're preparing for that last boss, because it is significantly harder than all the other bosses, theoretically, because it has the abilities of all 3 of them, but it's not really that big of a deal. Where's he at? He's to my left. Oh gosh, this happens every time. I do not pay attention to those red circles, and it always kills me. Anyways, I'm genuinely surprised with this. It might be because, I had Purifying Circle for much longer, but I guess it really was doing about like 3 to 4 times more damage per tick than the colorless glyph was. I did not think it would beat Chain Light Shock. That's just not possible. I also hit level 10 on this guy maybe 10 minutes in, so I'm not too surprised to see this. The fact that it's doubled is kind of unfortunate, but that's not that big of a deal. Overall, this is probably my least favorite build, actually. Its damage was nothing special. On top of that, it wasn't really that great looking. I mean, you have the thing following you, but not really that big of a deal. So yeah, I'd probably give this one a 4/10, unfortunately. I mean, I've liked most of the other builds, but this one just did not do anything for me. So yeah, overall, it's an alright build. I don't say I recommend it. The Necromancer class was honestly the highlight of this video. But anyways, guys, as always, if you have any builds you want me to try out, definitely let me know down below. I'm probably going to be transitioning into making some V-Rising videos. Been having a lot of fun on that game, and I've almost done every achievement on this one and every max build, so not too much else to do outside of really stupid things that I could try and think of. So if you got any ideas, let me know. Otherwise, thanks so much for stopping by. See you on the next video.